Okay. Second vlog about the wedding day. We're going to talk about first look through the bridal party photos. Nick's going to start us off.
Yeah, so the guys obviously got there on time. So it was super hot. It was in the 80s that day.
You guys also have like 2 things to do to get yourselves ready.
Look, I didn't say it was fair. I just said we did our job.
You did. It was very
so the
good.
guys, we didn't know what to do, so we were like hanging out at random places and trying to stay cool. The guys ended up going in a cafe while Jody and Jeremiah took me around back, set me up and stuff. And I was amped, so to speak, like anxious energy, but I wasn't freaking out at all. But the big thing was it was so warm and I could not stop sweating. So I think that was just, it put me in a not awesome mood. So that was a bummer, but can't control that sort of stuff. So, Amanda showed up and I think it just took a second because it's not like I see her in a wedding dress and full makeup every day. So it took some time to get used to it. But I think, and I think the photos are going to turn out good. And I don't think I was able to emote a lot. So I'm glad that we really did the first look because I might have frozen up a bit.
If it was at the ceremony.
At the first look. Oh, well, the first look, I might have sort of appeared stoic or frozen. So I'm glad that occurred at a first look and not the ceremony. But ultimately, we got a couple of different photo shots at places around George Eastman, and I was really sweaty. We did the forehead to forehead thing. I sweated all over her.
Literally, my makeup on my nose came off.
Onto me. Yeah, it was really bad. I'm sure that, we haven't seen the photos yet. Johnny said they're great. So we're just waiting for that. But
yeah.
Then we went to the garden part, and then this guy, you tell the story, but this guy came out of George Eastman real mad.
Okay, I'll say my part about the first look. So I just couldn't wait to see Nick. I was really excited to see him, and I wasn't expecting any certain kind of reaction at all, because I know that I want Nick to be, I know that it would be hard to express how you feel. And I never, knowing you, I never expected tears or I just expected at least a smile because it was okay, we're seeing each other, the day started, all that kind of stuff. So when I was walking down, I never wanted to do the tap on his shoulder to him turn around. I wanted to walk towards him to give him almost an aisle feel. So that was good. It was just nice to be with you and just see you, because I feel like I haven't seen you and spent time intimately with you in the last few days. So that was great. And it was blazing hot. It was a big distraction. And it was not enjoyable. That aspect of it was not enjoyable.
I felt all business.
It was just yeah. And I think there was a part of me that was does he like this? Does he like what I look like? And I know it was a lot of makeup, but even for me, it took some adjusting now that I say it out loud. So I also am glad that we had the first look to kind of get used to each other and how we looked, the way we looked. So then, I think she got some really good shots. It was a beautiful tree, lots of colors, this whole wall of purple trees or leaves, and it was just great. So I think I'm looking forward to that. Jeremiah said it was one of the best photos they've taken for a first look at George Eastman. So I'm looking forward to those, to seeing that play out. And then we headed back. Oh, the green door ones might look really nice too. There's a green door that we stopped at. So then we headed back to the bigger garden with the bigger structures and buildings. And she just wanted to get a couple of us, but while Jeremiah got the bridal party, and Nick and I were setting up for the first shot in that area. And all of a sudden you hear these 2 double doors burst open, and this guy starts walking out. And I was he's going to come over and say something to us that we need to move. And Johnny's I don't know. And then he clears his throat. He goes, and I'm oh boy, yep, it's happening. And he goes, you can't be in this property. You have to have a contract. You have to pay money. And she's really? It's, you can't, not just even for a few candidates or shots or whatever. He's we make $25,000 a year on wedding photos here.
It's $500 an hour, and you should all know this.
And he said on the phone that it's $300 outside, $500 inside, but he was saying that it was $500 no matter what for an hour. And so he's and then so he opens up his wall. He goes, you from here? He's talking to Jody. And she's yeah. He said, you should know, this is this is our protocol. And he he gives her his card and says, you can get banned from here if you step on the property without a contract. He's like, so like, just, you know, kind of threatening her essentially. And so she's like, okay. And then Johnny contemplated like going back to the spot we took our first look at with the bridal party. And I think we all agreed it's not worth the risk. So then we decided to go to the place that I wanted to go to from the beginning, and it was Nick's office, which I was really grateful for. So that gave Nick and I, especially having been outside for a little bit, time to get inside the car, blast the AC, talk a little bit and connect, and drink some water, all that kind of stuff. So when we got to Nick's office,
so yeah, we had no bridal party photos at that point. So
yeah.
we just all the bridal party was informed as they were coming towards us. Like Jody, Amanda, and I were the only ones who knew we got kicked out. So we told everyone.
Right. And I'm pretty sure by then I think it was like 1:15, 1:30, if I had to guess.
Because you guys were a half hour late.
Yeah, we were half hour late, which honestly, it could have been worse. It could have been way worse. So, and they add in buffer time so that there's time for that, which is genius of people.
We used every minute of it.
And that's okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah. So then we got to Nick's office and we stay separated, groomsmen and bridesmaids. And I think and then we were standing by a white tree. Nick's guys
standing by like a big oak tree or something.
Yeah. And I think the pictures are gonna be great. We didn't take any silly ones, but the guys did.
We had some great ones. Mike Perkins got involved. All the guys, we did like solos and pairs, and it was really good. It was fun.
I can't wait to see them.
And yeah, so I feel like we took only one of the cheesy ones I dislike, where it was like, yay, a fake yays.
Fake like walk and yeah. I think if I could go back.
I'm sure it'll still look good, but.
Right.
Yeah.
If I could go back, I would ask for more candids. Like just get us talking to each other and like let us, you know, take moments of us laughing together but I know they'll turn out like, because even when you walk and fake laugh, you eventually laugh. So those are probably the ones that come out best.
He had us tell stories to each other, and they just talked about some of the stupid stuff we've done.
Yeah.
That I won't put on the video. But yeah, so I'm pretty optimistic about the groomsmen photos. And we took a couple together, and by that point I had started warming up. Mm-hmm. I started cooling down physically and warming up emotionally.
Yeah.
So I think
you can always tell when Nick is warm to me when he starts hitting my butt. That's when you know he is like, he's all right.
Starting to feel okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, the Colgate, the George Eastman photos, I definitely felt off. I was very sweaty, and I had not really adjusted emotionally. Yeah. And then Colgate was a tick better.
Yeah.
And then, so from my end, that sort of got me feeling into it. And then we took off. And so we were actually the last ones to leave. So we were like, not quite late to our own wedding, but there was like half of the guests already there by the time we got to the church.
But we started our ceremony, we're not going to get into it now if we're getting to the next video, at 3:10, which again is not bad at all. We literally said it from the beginning that we were going to do that.
We
It's a plan. We planned that.
We didn't get time to relax. It was like show up, pray, go to the bathroom.
But I'm glad that our bridal party got time to rest, which I'm glad that they had that. But I was going to say something else. Also, I will admit, I'm going to be completely candid on this. The first look situation, especially having talked about it, is very difficult for me emotionally. But I pray that we can learn from this. And if anything I've learned is Nick is true to his word when he says he doesn't like surprises. So if I could go back, I would have showed Nick my dress and said, this is what I'm going to look like. And especially before it was completely tailored, what do you actually think about this? Like, do you have any thoughts, any reservations?
How's the neckline? How's everything? Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. Like, or at least even had my dad be a barometer, because he said something when after I had gotten dressed and he saw me for the first time, he said, hike it up. Like, so apparently I was too revealing, which was a whole situation because I planned on pushing them aside and making it all good, but then I was like, I didn't want it to look weird that I had like no cleavage whatsoever. So
it was tough.
I think it's just something that comes with a cost. It's just that it's for people and women especially who have like past body image issues, or like they want to, every bride wants to look their best for their man. It's hard thinking that could have been, again, something that could have been changed if had one person said something specifically to me. But it is, I have to realize, especially as a perfectionist, that everything's not going to go perfectly. And I'm very grateful that by the time the ceremony hit, Nick was all in, and was completely attentive, completely not distracted by anything, saw me for me. And that was the time to do that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I agree, and it was a big adjustment in a lot of ways because
there's a lot of change in me.
right, yeah, physically, and also
Hair, makeup,
it didn't
dress.
feel like our actual wedding until we were like at the wedding itself.
Yeah.
I was in business mode the whole time, so I'm sure a couple photos it'll be obvious that like things were hanging out or I was like processing. So I'm sure my face was like a little less attractive than normal. But no, I didn't. Jody said the photos are gonna look great, so I'm not as concerned about that as I was, and I do not regret the first look. There's only a couple. If it wasn't as hot, I think half of those problems would have been solved.
Yeah. And Nick and I have to work through the feelings that we have for physical appearance. We have to, like, him being able to express what he thinks and me not taking it so hard. It's just something we have to work through, because as we grow in our relationship, I will trust what you say and I will not question like holistic attraction. I will just say, okay, right now this is not the best thing on my body. And that's,
Yeah, and the last thing I wanted to do that day was criticize her.
Right.
Right? But I felt bad that day. I felt pressure to be like really expressive for the first look, and even though that wasn't from her, it was just like a cultural thing.
Right.
So I felt bad about that. But all things considered, I still think it worked out fine. So we'll see.
Yep. Okay.
And that's the really only bummer part of the day, really.
Everything is up.
Real
Yeah.
good. That was
It gets better from here.
the toughest part. So
Okay.
real good.
Very good.